That's right, kids, it's a T-800 posable figure. Create all of your favorite poses. Action pose, the superhero, Shakespeare, the pretty ballerina, the Zen master, the Karate Kid, planking. Order now.
Hello and welcome to Homemade How To, where we show you how to make props and costumes with stuff from around the house.
That's right, we're gearing up for Terminator Genysis homemade style, and so we're going to show you guys how to make a posable T-800 endoskeleton figure. It's going to be awesome.
So our first step is to make a sketch of the figure.
That's right, and we're going to make this about 7 inches.
Once we have the head figured out, your body is actually the equivalent of 7 heads.
Yeah, and then the shoulders are actually 1 head. The torso is about 2. The bottom of the rib cage is about where the elbows go. And then the hands come down to about the mid-thigh. And there we go.
So now that we have the sketch of the figure, we are going to be using some wire hangers that are going to run throughout the body.
So essentially what we're creating here is like a bendy figure.
Our first step for putting together this figure is the wire armature. We're going to be using a wire hanger.
And we're just going to measure on top of the drawing, because it, again, is a reference. And our spine piece.
And then our third piece for the legs.
All right, once we got our wire armature laid out here, we're going to pile a bunch of garbage on top of it. For the head, we're going to be making that out of aluminum foil, and I know that doesn't make sense right now, but wait till we get to it, it'll make sense, but we'll just put that there for now. Okay.
For the shoulders, we've got a marker here, a thin marker. So for the thigh, we've got some plastic clothespins.
And then for the biceps, we have 2 razors.
The chest piece, we've got another razor. This one's a little bit more fancy, and the shape of it is pretty awesome.
For the pelvis, we're going to be using a bottle cap.
And then this tube, I'm not sure what to call this stuff, but we've used it as like, it makes good, you know, tool
It also
stuff.
makes sounds.
Watch out. And so we're going to use that for the spine.
For the calves, we're going to use caps.
And we've got some bobby pins for the feet and the hands.
And then also at the 99-cent store, we found these LED clip lights that have really cool ball joints in them. So we're gonna actually use one of these ball joints for the neck. That's everything. That looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, we're done.
I think we're done.
All right, let's go.
See ya.
We be back.
We be? All right, enough fooling around. Let's build this bot.
This is a small figure. It's 7.5 inches. So we're gonna spend a lot of time on the overhead just so you guys can really see all the details.
Yeah.
So here we go.
All right, let's get started. So our first step is to attach the marker.
And cut it. I got purple all over me.
So we're gonna need to run that through the marker. The T-800 has these joints. We're gonna use an eraser, and we'll need 2 of those.
Now we're gonna make use of this ball joint from the clip light. If you can't find one of those clip lights at the 99-cent store,
Or something like that,
yeah, you could just actually make the spine wire a little bit longer and then attach the head right onto the wire, and you get the same effect. It's just we kind of really like this ball joint. So we're gonna glue this piece right onto the marker. So now for the pelvis, we're gonna use a bottle cap. We're gonna drill a hole in the bottle cap.
So we're gonna use the bottom piece from the clip light to form a nice little base for that pelvis bone.
So then for the bottom of the spine wire, we're gonna just put a little bend in it, feed the wire through that piece of plastic, and then we're gonna feed the bottle cap into the wire, like that.
At this point, we'll take our tube piece here that's gonna be our spine, and we need to measure that out. Take the tube piece, run it through that center wire, and there you go.
Attach that to the shoulder, attach it to the back, and we're gonna start off with a little bit of hot glue, but we're gonna reinforce it with zip ties. So now we're gonna do the legs. We have these holes here in the pelvic bones. We're gonna run our wire for the legs through that.
Right, it looks like we're ready for the chest piece.
We found, like we said, this razor that has like the perfect shape.
And because this plastic is a little thicker, we're gonna use our PVC cutter
Just glue the top part
to the front of the robot. For the back, we're gonna use this small storage container. We're gonna pop the lid off of that.
Sketch this out.
And so that's our piece there. We're gonna zip tie that to the front piece, and so we need some little holes there.
Gonna put this back piece on. We're not gonna glue it or anything. We're just gonna zip tie it right to the front piece. So we're gonna take our 2 razors. We're gonna start doing the arms. For the forearms, we're gonna use markers. Put some glue right in there. Be really generous. Slide the markers right onto coat hanger. Got his arms made here.
Look like something.
Yeah. It's,
looking like something weird. But stay with us here. Stay with us. We're on to something. On to something great.
All right. So legs.
For the legs, we've got our plastic clothespin.
Glue these right onto the wire. Okay.
This is so amazing.
So for the calves, we're going to use caps.
Just like pop.
It goes flying. All right, so we're gonna fill these caps up with some hot glue and put the caps right onto the wire.
He looks so happy right now. He hardly looks scary.
Come with me if you want to play. Okay, so for the feet, we're using a little bit of the clips from the clip lights that we have, and I'm just gonna trim those up with the Dremel tool.
Attach the bobby pins to the foot, and we're using a bit of hot glue and some gaff tape.
He has a fifth toe that sticks out of the back. We're gonna use a brush. They have these like perfect little beads on the end of them.
I think we're ready for some hands here.
For the hands, we're gonna use a little bit more of these clothespins.
So again, we're gonna use the bobby pins for the fingers. Our T-800 figure is almost complete. Well,
Needs a head.
So Ben's gonna show you how to mold the head.
Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to use aluminum foil. You may be surprised by this, but if you just clump it together and pack it real tight, you can actually start to form it. So once we get the head shape figured out, we're going to cover that all with gaff tape. And then I'm actually going to start shaping the head, some of the features with tweezers and just kind of pushing into it. Now I'm going to add some washers to the temples. Okay, so then the hole at the bottom I'm cutting so that I can slip this right onto that ball joint that we have. And then the eyes are going to be bunched up little tiny pieces of aluminum foil. I'm just going to super glue those right into the eye sockets. And there's the Terminator head.
So there you have it. The skeleton of the endoskeleton.
Yeah. So now we're going to do a lot of these details. We're going to make sure that we get a really good...
It's got like bicep parts that
like
come out,
tubes
stick
and
out
wires and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure to check your reference photos and start filling in all those details. And you can see he's totally posable. His arms bend. Arms bend up.
Head moves up and down. From side to side.
He's a little colorful though. He looks like he's made out of candy right now. So let's take him outside and spray paint him.
We cover the entire thing with the gray primer. And once the primer is dry, spray paint it silver and it instantly looks like a robot. He's nice and spray painted, looking very shiny.
Yes, he's awesome. Final steps are to add in the details, which are the eyes and the teeth. We're gonna paint those on with modeling paint. And that is how you make a homemade T-800 endoskeleton figure.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
That's right, and come back in 2 weeks because we're doing homemade Terminator Genysis, and this guy's gonna be in the trailer.
So you'll want to make sure you subscribe to CineFix.